All right, welcome to Roleplay Cafe, and we're here today for the second session of the Island of Suul, White Box Edition. All right, with DM Jason.
Hello, we have Donnie to my top left. We have Dale top right. We have Drew right beside me here on the screen, on my screen. So probably live. It's totally okay. We are Island of Suul, session 2. Drew's character is a dwarf that is from the island, so he will already know something about the world and the lore, so that's good. Blunder Creed. Donnie is Saltese the thief, and Dell is Wolf the thief. These two characters showed up having been teleported onto the island in the last episode from a far-off country, battling an evil wizard who, just to get rid of them, dropped them on the island of Suul. They woke up here, and they found out the hard way. They were in a wholly strange place. They had to learn the language. Fortunately, they were taught the language by an orc wizard, who also promised to put a tattoo upon Donnie to make her legal in the world, so they could track her. Let's see, where else? We have 3 other characters that are in this party. They are currently chasing a gnome thief from the first session. If you want to know all those details, you're just going to have to watch that Island of Suul, session 1. So, called Arrival. We are in the village of Hilton. It is a lakeside village on the lake of Pill Loch, right? And that's where the name comes from. It is a small village of about 8 to 10 major buildings. There are lots of fishing huts, and it's a fishing village. And they make of course grow crops to feed and to pay a tithe to the choleric priests. And they also have to pay a tax, which was unfortunately this village's tax was stolen by the little gnome. So everybody in this village over the last week has been fishing because the crops were destroyed by a dragon. Everyone in the village that can fish has been fishing. They're trying to get enough fish together to maybe pay that when the Clay Ran shows up, and that is the high priest. He usually shows up to collect criminals. He usually shows up to sell slaves and to collect debts. Our characters here have not met those individuals yet, except for maybe Drew's character. He may, in his many years running amok on the island, have run into these characters, these priests. Okay, it is midday. You have been told by the sergeant and the captain of the local guard that there's a barracks here in town of the local militia. They are elven army, right? They work on behalf of the cholerics, and they have told both of you, Wolf and Solsi, that you need to get to work or you need to leave the village. However, you are in custody, so you will not be able to leave, Saltsy, as they keep a guard who follows you around everywhere in town, so you don't try to make a run for it. The orc that was supposed to put this tattoo on your forearm, unfortunately, has not come back. And if she had, it would have given you some freedom, right, to leave. Mm-hmm. Drew, you want to tell us how your character has arrived here in the village of Hilton?
Yeah, so he's coming through for just trading. So he is former blacksmith, forgesmith. So he likes to collect like random metals and make armors and stuff like that. Nice. But he's walking through town pretty much with his donkey, his mule, and he's kind of like kicking the thing in the ass and like grabbing his beard and scratching his face, and he's looking around to see if he finds anyone that's recognizable.
Yeah. The first thing you see is the crops. Hundreds of acres of crops are black scorched recently, right? They're not smoldering now, but evidence that there's been an attack. You can see a large storage barn it's burned to the ground. It's just heaps of black soot, and that right next to that was a corral and a blacksmith's shop. Right next to that, right as you come off the road into town, you would see this wreckage and then the blacksmith's corral.
Perfect. So
yep.
Definitely gonna wipe off the forehead, try to rearrange the hair and fancy myself up and go over and check this out. So
yeah. As you enter the facade on the outside actually looks like just a normal building, but as you break the doorway and come in, You are possibly. It might turn your stomach to find an elf behind the anvil working. It's an elf, blacksmith. This elf looks up and sees you as a dwarf and wrinkles his nose, wipes his face, leaving black soot, and then back to banging. The inside is an intricate web of like a tree. It looks like everything is organic, as if it's growing out of the earth. So the outside facade not like the inside. And at some point, he finally finishes banging his anvil and looks up and says, "What can I do for you, dwarf?"
All right, so I straighten up my attire, and you walk over to. I guess the tree is like the countertop.
Yeah, well, it's like behind him, growing out, holding up the beams.
Okay.
It's like a tree, and then he's got like a metal anvil, in his. So that's all fairly traditional. But the thing that appears to be holding up the roof is growing out of the earth like a tree. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There is no counter, so to speak, but yeah, you can walk up to him.
Okay, I'm gonna walk right up to him, and I'm gonna kind of snort my nose and hawk, and I'm gonna spit right on the ground in front of him.
Dwarf. That's is expected. What can I do for you? Are you a craftsman like me?
Yes, I'm looking for some information on whereabouts we could go sell.
Sell? What do you have to sell? Are you asking your competitor? You want to sell out from under me?
Many of my wares are better than yours. We know this. We know how the dwarves make.
But not as attractive as, say, this. And he pulls a sword from the wall. This beautiful, elegant, long sword. You can never match this. And he hangs it back on the wall.
Okay, and then I reach and I turn back and I rummage through my goods and I pull out by the handle this giant sharpened steel axe and I hawk it and I dig it into the tree and I say, you can never make as sharp as this.
He ducks. A mighty, mighty weapon. He tries to pull it loose and can't. And then looks and says, "You'll have to remove that. You can't leave it here."
Pushes him back by the chest and just pulls it out with one hand.
So you know something about our craft. I would love to meet with you later at the end to discuss business. My name is Wellen.
Well, Wellen, I'd like to know where you'd like to meet.
You just go right out here. There's a large 3-story building, largest building in the whole village. The bottom level is the tavern. Meet me there in, say after dark, soon after sunset. I like to eat my dinner there, and I'll talk to you about something.
Aye. And then I go over and I just stomp out my spit that I spit down. I said, have a good day.
You can leave your animal and your gear here in the corral if you want to, for one silver piece.
I'm running a bit low on funds, sir. I'll take my mule.
Good. Well, tonight then, at the tavern.
The tavern.
All right, Donnie and Dell, where are your characters? This is about midday.
Go ahead.
I'm still in the tavern. I've got my feet kicked back up, and I'm drinking the house ale, as I have been. And hopefully I'm still sequestered up in the room up top in the inn, since they've left off. And where is Saltine?
So I am outside trying to figure out a strategy to just get away from my bodyguard, so to speak. So I'm just kind of looking around.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking around for you. Where's Salty? I say toward the bartender as I hold up my empty container.
Are you in the tavern, Donnie? Or are you outside?
I'm just running outside of the tavern, trying to see how far I can step away before this guy is like right back on me.
Oh, he literally follows you About the only place he won't follow you, much beyond 5 or 6 feet is the latrine, right?
Okay.
He'll give you your privacy there. And of course, at night when you go to your rooms at the tavern, obviously he sits in a chair outside in the hall, right?
So I let out a sigh and I'm like, can I get a freaking fresh air by myself? It's not like there's anywhere else to go. And I look down at my arm and I just like, and go back in. And I just plop down at the same table as Wolf. And I'm like, lean in. We've got to shake this guy just for my sanity. And lean back.
I give you a big wolfish grin as I receive the ale. Thank you, good man.
And he follows you in, but he sits in a single table by the door, 10 or 12 feet from you, lets you have your privacy. But he's always watching.
Perhaps we should make it uncomfortable for him.
Okay, sure. And I walk and I take out his L, and I just turn to face the guard, and I just kind of cheer, take a sip, get up, walk over, and I'm like, is there anything we can get for you? I mean, just curious, and just still sipping on Wolf's drink, not downing it, just sipping on it, just to be a jerk.
Keep that man away from me.
Let's go up to the room. Let's see if he
follows
us in the room.
I look at him and I go like this as I'm drinking. I go, I hear he's wanting us all to go up to the room. He's kind of got an idea where the people might be for my tattoo. Would you like to join us, sir? Just like that.
To him.
We've been waiting how long for her to come back for a blasted tattoo? And those imbeciles go trotting off after some gnome. Southeast. Some foolhardy escapade. We can have an escapade of our own.
I look at him and go, or we can just son of a bitch in the room, and then we can find the lady.
Just sit back and enjoy yourself.
All right, I will.
We've got a free room. We've got all the L we can need. Sure, they're nagging us about helping them fish. Does these hands look like fishermen's hands?
Listen, and I take a sip to where it's about halfway empty, and I put the glass down back in front of him, and I go, if you can shake that guy off me, I may shake something else. So there's a task.
Hey, he'll keep everyone else off our back. All right?
I just want to have my peace.
I'll give you a piece if you follow me upstairs into the room.
Oh, I bet.
Drew, as you're coming out of the blacksmith, again, you take three or four steps out. Across from you is the huge barracks. It's probably 200 yards away. It's a massive military barracks of the Unamin. Roll your eyes at the elves' organization and focus on law and order, right? And to your left is the fountain and the which is dry. It's an old statue fountain that doesn't produce water anymore. Maybe there had been a spring from the lake at some point. And to the left of that is this 3-story tavern, not far at all. It's just across the street for the most part. As you take these sites in, you see a band of orcs, oak nose, and it's probably 6 of them. They ride in, and again, orcs for the most part are tribal by nature. They're they're focused on war. They're not necessarily evil, and they're not necessarily here to cause harm, but they could be. But about 6 of them ride in, and leading them is a female orc with a hood, a staff on her back, and they ride up. She dismounts and she passes right by you, headed directly for the tavern. And her 6 men dismount and take her horse and tie up there to the corral. And they look you up and down, and a couple of them circle you in the street, smelling, and they snort and stop and eyeball you. They don't say anything to you.
Okay. I'm just going to gently caress my body and start rubbing my big gut. And then I pull up my pants and I give him a little grunt and say, "Gentlemen."
They spit some noise back at you in their native tongue. I don't know if you speak Orc, but
I don't know.
but either way, it is not pleasantries, right? It's not. Clearly, they're not being nice.
Mhm.
And again, you see her now disappear into the inn door. This Orc priestess. Excuse me.
Okay. I just look towards the door and I kind of slowly start walking towards that.
Okay. Yeah, they kind of step out and they fan out. In a way, they're not headed for the inn. They're not going in any buildings. They just kind of fan out in this area as if they're making sure they make a pathway for her to escape if it's necessary, right?
Do they like part ways for me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So yeah, I'm gonna accept that and like charismatically, like, you know, puff my chest out like I'm super important and
Right.
kind of do a big strut towards the tavern.
Okay. You follow. I don't know if you're going to go in. Are you going to go into the tavern when you get there?
Is there a window? Can I peep in?
Sure, you sure can at the front.
Yeah.
As you peek in, you see a female clad in leather armor, and she's with another gentleman in leather armor. You see this priestess walk straight up to their table and bow. Saltine and a wolf. Here is Un Masa, the orc priestess who promised to tattoo you a week ago.
Ah, you've arrived.
Thank God. Whew, I was worried I was about to have to do something that I did not want to do.
May I inquire as for the delay? We've been sitting here with nothing to do but drink ale.
I have had my
Thank you, by the way.
I have had my own problems, and it is that is partly why I am here to complete the tattoo. But remember, I had said for my teaching you the language and for doing this tattoo, I would call in a favor. Do you not remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Are you prepared to meet the favor?
Sure, but I will ask you one favor as well. And I look at Wolf and I go, but we'll discuss that later. You and I to her.
I give you another wolfish grin and say, yes, we will.
So you see these three talking. You might even hear you can't make out what they're saying, Drew, but you can hear their voices. It's pleasant. It's not fighting or.
No, I've got my feet on the table as far as that.
Right.
Is the door swinging or is it like handle?
It doesn't have a handle on it. It's not like a tavern. It's not like a saloon door, but it does swing. There's no handle on it. It just swings open or back through. It's like a one door. Right.
Okay, I'm just gonna stay where I'm to for now and keep listening.
Peeking through. Okay.
Yeah.
This guard walks up to the table, Donnie, that's been following you around for a week, and he looks and he says, "If you get this tattoo done, I can leave. I can go back to my life."
Oh, believe me, I will be very happy to get this done right now. And I look at her and I go, "Are you ready to begin?" And I stick my arm out just like that.
She looks about the tavern and asks for space, and the guard, of course, steps way back. He's got his tattoo. He doesn't want any more. She reaches out and she whispers, "Oh, what do you want it to say?"
Wolf, I says.
Whoa.
What?
She starts laughing and goes, "Wolf, that's fine." And then she whispers over there, "Must die."
She says, bread.
She says,
lay it to her.
She grips your forearm. She's very strong, She's a female, but she's an orc, and she grabs your forearm and crushes it a little bit and pulls you in tight and says, "I can give you rights to ownership."
Sure.
Now, do I
Go
hear
ahead.
this?
Do what you must. And I'm kind of cringing from the pain.
Right. She starts to bends her head, her eyes close, and she starts an incantation. You feel almost like a burning upon your hand. Make a save versus spells.
Before she starts making the incantation, I'm gonna kick the door open, and I'm gonna belch as loud as I can, and I'm gonna say, "They haven't pricked me with that stuff yet. Don't let them get to you, girl."
Nice. So you hear this. What do you think of this? Because of this, she has to make a save to not fumble up this tattoo.
Okay.
So, checking off my first die 20 roll.
Look, you better succeed because I don't want something wolf on her. She messes up and puts like almost a heart shape.
Right. Loves wolf.
Yeah. There'll be a
Wolf for life.
Yeah, wolf for life. Right.
Yeah.
So make a save versus spells for me. She fortunately passed her save, so she won't botch up your tat.
All right. So what am I rolling against?
Save versus spell. So it's save for thief level. You guys are level 3 or 2? I can't remember.
3.
3. So you need to roll. Let's see here. Oh, that's attack tables. Where's my save tables? Shoot.
Hold on.
I should have this memorized by now. Oh gosh.
Yeah, when you came in, Wolf spilled some of his drink on his leg.
Yeah, this dwarf comes in and lights up the joint, right? Literally.
It's like
damn.
There blows in a harsh wind.
Here we
well
go.
met,
Sorry
dwarf.
about that.
Grab a seat.
All right, so level 3, you need to roll 4 spells, 15 and up on die 20.
I said this could be interesting.
Woo! Pink dice, D20, got
Nice.
it 20.
Nice.
Yes.
So not only do you do not suffer any injury or illness with that, it's actually not as painful as her grip was, right? So that's fantastic. It takes her about another 45 seconds or so to complete this, and when she releases, you see this magical now tattoo that undulates and changes.
Yeah.
And you've been told you can't read the language, but you've been told one is your name, and usually it gives you all your legal rights, and one is rights of ownership, that type of thing. And fortunately, you added rights of ownership to this, which is good for you as far as being caught with horses or riding horses, things like that, right?
So I look at it real quick, and I go, look, it says wolf in their language. Wink.
Very, very nice.
The guard goes, thank God. And he walks over and he says, I hope to God to never see the one of you again. And he storms through the door, past the dwarf. Pardon me, dwarf.
Can I triple?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, cool.
He stumbles through. Go ahead and roll to see how badly you trip it.
While he's rolling, can
D6?
Oh, no, D20. Like an attack roll.
Can I turn to Wolf and go, I swear to God, if you have any more of that powder stuff, I will let you have what you want.
What'd you roll, Drew?
13.
Okay, so you trip him. He stumbles through the door, into the street, into the dust, rolls over and cusses as he gets up. You hear the orcs laughing hysterically over about 25 feet from the door. They're laughing. He
Big
gets up.
stomachy chuckle.
Yeah, right.
Well, this is
And
going
he
on.
heads
Wolf.
toward the barracks, 100 yards, 150 yards away. The orc priestess now pulls you in close and says, now, I call the favor. You paid me 3 gold, but you've now asked for rights of ownership. I believe the favor I need would be a fair price.
Okay,
I slide her the ale and I say, you better take a good draft.
And
She's about to stick you with the bill.
to the orc or to her, you mean?
No, to Salty. Yeah, she's about to stick you with the bill, I say. You better take a good draft of this.
And she says, and of course, as we agreed, they cannot track this tattoo.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So what's going on?
She says she nods to Wolf to pull her chair out so she can sit down.
Okay, I'll pull it out.
Thank you. And she plops down. She carries herself rather nobly for a orc, right? For an orc priestess. But she is the chiefess of their tribe, so she is the head honcho of their tribe. She leans forward and she says, there is a ruin in the lake. And Drew, you can hear all of this, right? Just kind of standing behind him as she says all this. There is a sword in that ruin, and I I need that sword. It is a magical sword, and I need that sword. One of these fishermen here could take you to the ruin.
What
like you've got your
is
work cut
so
out for you,
special
Salty.
about this sword?
What is special about it? It is magical, and I need it.
So what does it do? I don't want to stick my hand in there and it do something to me. You know what I'm saying?
It is fine craftsmanship. It is known as the sword of the specters.
I'll be the judge of that, I say as I slam my beer down on the table next to them.
She looks and says, "Is this dwarf with you?"
Careful with the beer. You're
I look
spilling
at him.
it.
I go, "Do you mind? We're talking business. Can you take your little self over there?" And I kind of shoo him away, like looking down upon him, like.
Is it None that we're in? What's the name of the place again?
It doesn't have a name. It's just a cavern.
No, but I mean the whole place that we're
the
in.
country is the Unami.
Yeah.
The Unami
Unami,
is the
yeah.
country, yeah.
I'm the best dang craftsman in Unami. That's who you're talking to here.
Hey, he can get you a magic sword. You can craft one for her. Save the whole trip. We can stay here and drink our ale.
She sits back, pulls her hood down, her eyes narrow, and as she starts to smile, you see her canine, her incisors, and she begins to utter an incantation, looking at you, Wolf. Do not, and then she arrests the incantation and says, "Do not make me complete this, for we have an agreement."
Yes, you and Salty have an agreement.
So
I have no
And she
quarrel
looks
with that.
she looks at you and says, "That is true. For you have put this man's name upon your arm, and he won't help you."
And I say, saddle up, pretty boy. The girl's giving you a chance.
I look at him. I go, I think I can do this enough on myself, sir, dwarf. Thanks.
So
And I'm like, turn back, like,
we're bound
"Leave."
by
Can we
a
just go to
runic
this way?
tattoo? I've never heard such.
She is indeed. You are not, but she is indeed.
She is marked as my property. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no. You are my property. Let's not get that twisted.
I assure you, she is not. They cannot track her, but I assure you, I can.
Unless
Fair
she loses
enough.
an arm. Yes. So be
So-
it. I grow bored of this situation
So-
here.
Since I kind of gave you all of my gold, and I kind of do the little I'm broke type thing, is there any way we can get some to pay a fisherman? Because around here they don't do much for free.
Payment fish.
She sighs, and you hear under the table a jangle, and she pulls up a bag, and she thumbs out 3 or 4 gold. This is more than enough for any fisherman. And you've now gotten back your gold, and she slides with her other hand, slides it across the table past the dwarf's tankard.
I'm just gonna palm it and pull it in towards myself.
Looks like you have an ally in this dwarf. She
Oh,
stands.
There
A
is
strong
no
arm.
ally, sir. I promise you, you will want to give me that coinage, or in case you might get some rashy, itchy patches soon. I promise you want me to have those coins back.
What are you? Are you a human or an elf or what?
I'm a human.
You're a human? Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true 6-footer, and then I slide it back over the table.
6-footer.
I take that and I slide it
Long
to Wolf.
shanks.
You slide it to Wolf.
Yes, I slide it to Wolf.
She
I
stands.
just
and
scrape it off into my little pouch.
she
Smile.
stands up and pulls out of her robes a scroll. She lays it flat, and with a power you can't see, she flattens the scroll out with a wave of her hand. On the scroll, it shows this pathetically scribbled map of the lake that's right outside the door, the lake Unpilek, and in the middle of the lake, a pathetic drawing of a mountain or something right in the middle of the lake, and she says that is where you'll find the sword of the specters, and then she crumples that up and then it turns into dust, and she says, I will be in my tribe. I will leave an orc here. He will escort you back to my tribe when you return with the sword. And she turns and heads out the door, doesn't wait for any other conversation. You hear her barking orders outside, and that you hear them all mount up and ride away. And as you peek kind of through the window from your seats, you can see one orc standing around out there. He eyeballs the tavern and then slowly heads toward the tavern. You can see him through the window.
I turn to the dwarf and I go, listen, you can tag along if you want. You can keep whatever stuff that happens to be down there with that damn sword, okay? And then we part ways. Deal? And don't get in our way.
It's a strong arm. I mean, I may be able to fill some supplies, but we need someone like him. And he seems trustworthy, and I lean over and voice. After all, we have to go to an island within an island.
True.
I'm just like, aye, come on, Daisy. Let's go.
Right. But first, we must sleep for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Up to our room.
Right. So as you hang around the tavern for the remainder of the afternoon, if you do, I mean, you don't have to, but if you do, Wellen will certainly come in looking for a blunder, right? So again, I don't know what you guys have planned for the afternoon. It's only a few hours till sundown.
Yeah, I'm gonna chill out here for the night.
Okay.
You want to go with me to find a fisherman?
Yeah, you can do that. You have my permission. I'll be upstairs in the room. You let me know what you find.
Is this real life? Like, are you guys in a real relationship?
Listen here.
Yeah,
okay?
listen, men don't do the shopping. The girls do the shopping. That's exactly right.
You have the coins. So that's what you're good for, is to carry my bag. So let's go.
Only a fool would give them the coins before we'd set off. They can have half the coins when we leave and half when we come back. I've made my decision. And I swing my feet off the table and sit down. I tire. Let me know what you find. And I stand up and stretch and walk upstairs.
I'll enjoy sleeping alone tonight. And I just walk out.
So we'll come to you in a second, Donnie, as you look for a fisherman, right? Okay, so night falls. Dwarf, you may have eaten who knows what else you've done here in the tavern, but Wellen comes in right after. So, I mean, it's like the minute the sun goes down, bang, he comes through that door, looks about for you, and he motions to Unlogus, who is the bartender in the tavern keep. And as he approaches you, in just a few moments, Unlogus comes out and slides a bowl of beans in front of him and slams down a tankard of ale. And Wellen looks at you and says, so how have you enjoyed your stay here in Unpilton?
So I'm like sitting back and I rub my big stomach again and I'm like combing out my beard. And I like look at him because I'm all like half cut, so I like look at him all like stank-eyed. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it was Wellen.
You dwarves, listen. You know, you may not know of the lost art of crafting weapons and equipment from the blue crystal. Do you know the blue crystal, Azurite?
Yes.
I have the rumored, well, let's see, long lost art of crafting it. The problem is I do not have any of this Azurite. But I know
where to get some, elf.
I do know where you can get some of this Azurite. And,
well, let's go.
Are you ready? I cannot go, but here are the directions to this place. And if you return with this blue Azurite, and indeed we can craft with it, I'll teach you this craft.
So
I know you're a dwarf. You're a bit
pick up
thick.
the paper. I pick up the paper and I look at it and I go, I can't read this. And I crumple it up, throw it over my shoulder. I say, come, let's go.
Yes, I do not go, but there, the place for this, the cavern for this, is 5 miles north of the village. Now there is one hiccup. It is a lair where bandits, well, they've used it to as their headquarters. So be aware of that.
Yes.
I will share my secrets. Not to mention, I might craft something special for you and your friends.
And why should I trust an elf?
Well, you don't need to trust me. It's entirely up to you whether you go or not. But to learn these great secrets, although you are thick as a fork.
Well, you convinced me. I'll go. Damn it.
Very good, very good. And he slides over, and he's done talking to you. It's like now that this business is done, he just starts eating and drinking, looking about. Nobody else.
Smack him on the back so hard that his head just goes into the soup bowl, and I just say, thanks, pal, and I walk away from him.
Let me know when you arrive. Meet me at my.
He says this with soup dripping off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But he already was shoveling it in like black.
That's commitment.
Yeah. Exactly. Donnie, you're strolling around all afternoon and waiting, and the fishermen are. I mean, everybody's gone. They're all doing everything they can to fish. There's a handful fishing from the docks, children, and those who don't have boats are fishing from around the lake, casting off the docks and off the lake. But about sundown, they start arriving, these boats. And by the 25, 30, 40 boats and fishermen climbing off, unloading their fish, preparing their fish. The first night you were in town, you saw them do this. They pack them on wagons. They pack these fish, and these wagons head off right in directions as obviously food supplies from other local villages. So you can approach whichever one you think might be amenable to further duty.
So I want to kind of, before I approach them, I want to look around to see who is one that might have a kind heart, that might take pity on me. Okay?
There's a little old man trying desperately to pull his net of fish out of the boat. He's weak, he's clumsy, he wrestles it out of the boat, and he's dragging it across the beach over to the tables. He looks like he's pretty helpless.
So I go over there and be like, here, let me help you out. So I try to help him out.
And it's really light. You almost are surprised by it lifts up. Oh, thank you. Over. He lets go of his end and runs over and waves you over to the table. Put it here.
I put it where?
Unalistar will prepare it. Thank you very much. And then he starts heading back over to his boat right past you.
And I go, wait. Sir.
Yes.
Can you help me and my friends? I have no money to give at all. We just need to go to this island. All you would have to do is take us there, and then when we get done doing what we have to for a job, because we have no money for anything, once we, get everything done, can you bring us back? And I promise you, one day in the future, I will pay you back somehow, some way.
What island?
And I explained to him kind of where we need to go.
He shudders and says, yes, I can do that, but we best be off now. I can't go during the day. I have to fish. I must fish.
Okay, can you just wait for me to go get my partners?
Yes, and hurry.
I will.
Yes.
I'll be right back, and I just haul butt.
Okay.
Right back to the tavern.
So again, she comes in, Drew. You see her bust in, and go ahead. You can rouse your friends there if you want to, Donnie.
Yeah. As soon as I get them together, I'm like, listen, we have no money. Just like that. No money at all. You guys understand me? And do we all agree? We are broke. We got to do a job.
So you're waking me up in bed, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What is this about, Salty?
Listen, I got us a boat for free. Just follow my lead.
Girl, I knew you could do it.
It'll be worth it. And I jerk the pillow out from underneath him and just sock him with it. Like,
When is it heading out? When is it leaving?
we've got to leave now.
Oh gosh, we should have scheduled.
And
a
I
different
run
time.
back out to where the dwarf is, and I go, listen, like our deal, you get no money because we're broke, but you can have whatever you find down below.
I just give you that same squinty, cockeyed look and say, "Who are you?"
I'm walking downstairs now. I'm thinking, daft girl, forget about the 3 gold she gave me. And I pat my pouch. All right, let's settle up. I'm looking down there at the dwarf and Saltine.
And I look up at the stairwell and I see Wolf there and I say, pretty boy, change your plans. We're going to go kill some bandits today.
Hey,
And I'm like, excuse me? No, we're getting on our boat that I just got for free.
hey, look, both of them. One or the other. Y'all arm wrestle over it.
Listen, my arm will be gone.
He almost made Jason spit out his water.
Alright? If
Arm
you
wrestle
don't come
over
with us.
Look, where does the gold lie?
Listen,
Say it now. Where does the gold lie?
all right, let's make it this
Dwarf.
way. Okay, focus, and I'm like, turn into Wolf. You see this? This is the gold, right? You go with me and talk your dwarfish little boyfriend over here to come along with us to the damn island, and you'll get your gold.
And I just put my hand over her mouth, and I just put my hand over Wolf's mouth, and I just pick the two of them up and start walking towards the door.
Nice. Out the door, into the dark. You've seen where they've lit all of the alarm posts around the. They do this every night. These Elven army militia light these alarm posts, so you can see now it's lit. You can see the wagons have gone. Most of the fishermen are wrapping up and securing their boats for the night, and they're all headed back to their little houses and villages. This little old man stands down by his boat, waving a torch in your direction. I don't know if you're still carrying them, dwarf.
No, that was just to get outside.
Okay.
and
Let
then-
me down, dwarf. Look, we're all looking for gold here. We don't want to do this for nothing. Correct? I know I don't.
Listen, I'm just looking to save my life and my arm. That's all I'm focusing on.
Dwarf, we take a boat ride. We get the sword. We get paid.
Mm-hmm.
What are you even talking about? 5 miles north.
If I don't do this, all right, and I look at him, I go, unless you can make this magical sword, we need to focus on the lake.
Listen, dwarf, you don't want to come back here. You want to go to the lake, back here, and then away from the village. You don't want to go away from the village and back. So if you want us
No,
to
I
help
have
you,
to do a task for an old friend, an old crafting friend.
but look, what lies in wait for you? What lies in wait for you? For us.
I
That's
can't
what I
remember.
thought.
I was pretty drunk all night.
That's what I thought. Look, we know that we can go to the island and secure funds. That's it. That settles it. And then we can look into this trek up north, whatever you're talking about.
It's
Okay.
fine materials. I need fine materials. And he kind of
Yes.
gets a glisten in his eye, like the ring in the Lord of the Rings look. It's like, precious.
Yes. And you
He
still get
instantly sobers up and just
Right.
like fixated, right?
Right.
Yes,
Suddenly sober.
I've got a good eye for precious items, and then I wink at sweet tea.
And then I just throw my hands up. Not easy to get along with. Or I'm not hard to get along with.
You don't weigh that
Start
much,
walking.
man. You won't take us down in the boat. Look, the old man's waiting. She's already got him rattled. I'm sure this opportunity won't last. Old man, we're coming. We're coming. And then I start.
Hurry
walking.
now, hurry.
Let's get
So
this
as you
over with.
arrive at this boat, it'll fit it'll fit all of you, maybe enough room for one more if you needed to. He climbs in. And he starts to shove off. He climbs in and he asks you to give it one good push before you get in. So you have to wait out in the lake a little bit and climb in. And he begins to paddle and turn. He lights a lantern on the end of the boat. So on the very tip of the boat, a lantern is lit and hangs there. And on the back of the boat, he has a lantern lit. And he starts rowing. And he says, he tells you, I know of this accursed island. This is known as the Curse of the Lost Platoon. You sure? Why would you want to go to such a place?
You know, old man, I could really fix this boat up for you.
Ah, but it's a fine boat, is it not?
It is not a dwarven boat made by dwarven people.
This is true. I rarely see dwarven boats.
Dwarf, pipe down. There's a smoking lantern over there. Light up your pipe weed and relax and enjoy the journey. And then
I don't smoke, lad.
Well, you should learn. And then I looked at the old man. Old man, what is your name?
My name is Adam.
Adam? We trust that you know the way to get there, and you can trust us to protect you. We won't lead you into any kind of danger. And I'm sure a lot of what you heard is just blown out of proportion. So if you trust us, we trust you. Okay?
I just thought you should know what you're getting into.
And he
We appreciate it.
paddles along. This goes on all night. You got in the lake fairly shortly after sundown. Midnight rolls around. It's a thick fog now as he's still paddling. This is a big lake. At about 1 a.m, the water is ice. I mean, it's not ice. It's glass. I mean, it is not a ripple in the water as he's moving through. Totally glass. And he says it shouldn't be much further as he's paddling along. And now every stroke that hits the water sounds so loud because there's no other noise against the boat with no lapping waves. About 20 minutes later, you begin to see the lake bubble and churn as if it's boiling.
What's causing that bubbling?
The old man stops rowing as the boat kind of floats along, and he says, I've never seen anything like that. As the boat bounces and lifts from the water.
Something from the depths.
Literally, as it's coming up out of the water, you can feel this, the boat now floating and bouncing, and you hear this roar as water splashes. And you all have to make saving throws.
Yep.
Just straight save. This is your normal save with Dex, with your Dex bonus.
Oh, a normal save?
Yeah. So this is your basic save. It's on your character sheet. So for thieves,
I failed.
it is a 12 and up with your Dex modifier.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 3, so I'm gonna epically miss that.
Okay.
Yeah, and not more than me because I rolled a 2, and when I said
And
up
you
from
failed
the
as well.
depths, yeah, I'm out of that.
I
boat.
let out
Okay.
a scream, shouting out Wolf's name.
And the boat keeper, also rolled a 3. All of you end up out of the boat, falling 20 or 30 feet toward the lake, past this giant creature as it stands up out of the lake, looking about, and the boat spinning into pieces. And all of you hit the water. You all failed your saves, so you'll take at least 1 point of damage. Everybody takes a point of damage.
All right.
If you're wearing plate mail armor, you will have to make a decision. You'll have to decide whether you want to strip it off or ultimately drown.
Thank God I have leather.
Okay. So if you don't have plate mail, you can swim. This creature flails about, doesn't appear to even be aware of you, and then it starts walking away into the fog and the darkness. It's almost waist deep on this giant creature, its head with horns, as it walks away, and you hear the old man splashing around in the water, coughing and spluttering.
I'm trying to swim over to him.
Into the darkness, you just see waves where his waist has left a wake. as he disappears into the night and into the fog. This creature,
It's like a
and you're all
humanoid
splashing
type
about in the lake. It is freezing cold water. The boat is in pieces.
shape. Oh, jeez.
The old man brings a hand out, treading water, and points. There is land. And it's about a 150-yard swim to get to this land.
Come with me, old man, and I swim over there and try to help him along and swim with him.
Okay. You can do that. It'll just take you double time
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
The rest of you, again, you shouldn't lose any of your gear or anything, unless, of course, it's plate mail armor. Then you'd lose it. It takes you about... you two arrive before Wolf, because he's dragging this old man along in the water. As you pull yourselves out of the lake, out of the cold water and roll over, you realize you're on stone. You realize you're on some kind of stone patio. And it is dark and it's foggy.
Are you all right,
Wolf arrives, dragging the old man up onto shore.
Yeah, are you all right, Unadam?
I'm sorry?
Are you all right, Unadam?
Yes. Yes, Pat, he's coughing and spluttering. He looks
up. Is this the island?
He looks about in this so foggy. He says, "I'm not sure, but we were only a few minutes away, so this must be it."
Yes. So is everyone else all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Right.
I'm gonna light one of my torches so I can see.
As you strike this torch up, you see scattered about your feet. It looks in the darkness, again, stone. This is finished stone, kind of like a patio or some kind of outdoor. And scattered about you look like dead warriors. There's nothing left but bone. They have armor, shields, weapons lay beside them, helms. And there's just at your feet in this immediate area, you count about 8 or so in just this immediate area, these dead soldiers. They look like they were stricken dead where they stood.
Okay, so
at some point, hundreds of years ago, maybe. Who knows? Right?
Push myself up, ring up my cap, put it back on my head, fix it, and then I walk up to these soldiers. Now, with my craftsmanship and stuff, can I tell like who made these, like what they would be equipped, like would it be humans,
you
elves?
Immediately you kneel down, you pick up a shield. This is old Suul. This is old human make by the old craftsman. This might be 75, 100 years old. Fine for humans, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The swords. These are all human skeletons.
Okay. And then I relay the information and say, I don't think we have anything to fear here. And then I kick the bones.
Adams, it looks like, according to your dead reckoning, you're correct. This is the island. Or what could it be? Now we must find the sword.
The old man stands where you drug him out, shivering. He looks about, and he walks over and sees him. Oh, this indeed the curse of the lost platoon. This is what I feared. This is real. This was not myth. And he goes right over to the edge of the lake and stands as far away from this.
Saltine, let us gather some wood and start a fire for Unadams. He needs to wait here until we come back.
What is this curse you speak of? As I shout that at Adams as I'm walking towards Wolf.
Old Queen Suul. She sent a troop here 120 years ago is the old story, and they came here to deal with something and never came back. Stories where they never even entered the lair. They were killed here on the spot.
Well, if it was the truth, obviously so. It's been 120 years, Adams. Don't you think that the danger has passed? Or either has just left us?
But looking at these skeletons, they don't look as though their bones are broken or they're crushed. I would think that thing that stood out of the lake, that would have caused...
maybe
they would have been pulverized.
Maybe, I hate to say it, but maybe they were shipwrecked. So we must find this sword in some way off this island.
He's huddled by the fire now. He says, "I have nothing. I have no weapon or anything. Could you?" And actually, then he looks and he walks over and he picks up a short sword from one of these skeletons, grabs a shield. He goes over and sits down on a rock by the fire, and as he looks up at you, you look at him, you think, he is unfortunately in way over his head. He is spent his life fishing. He's probably 60-something years old. He looks draggled and pathetic, terrified.
Well, hopefully some nets will drift up on shore, and we can use them to eat if it gets too dire. But I'm looking around. Is there any? You said it was a rocks that we came up on. Is there any trees?
If Donnie moves further into the stone. She starts to see more and more skeletons. Now some strewn, and then you see steps leading up, and you see skeletons on these steps leading up.
Like the skeletons are we're entering into wherever these.
They look like they had been a platoon of soldiers, probably all lined up, going up these stairs at some point, and at some time were stricken dead where they lay now.
Question. Is there stones that are loose enough or whatnot that I can pick up?
Yeah. Pick one
Sure.
up.
Yeah. You want to pick up like rocks?
Yeah, just
Sure.
some handful of some stones. And where they're at, is there any walls or anything, or is it just stairs leading up there?
So it is a stone. So this is as you stand again, a 30-foot radius for this torch. In the 30 feet, again, most of it is bones of skeletons, etc. And then the stairs lead up, and they fall off the edge. There is no railing. There is no. It's not into anything. It's climbing up to a. And if you start to go up the stairs, you can get a closer view as to what might be. You can't tell from here in the fog how high these stairs go.
Blasted. Okay. Where'd the last go? Dwarf. She's head off again.
You can see the outline of her torch in the fog.
Yeah. Owen Adams, you stay by here by the fire. We'll return shortly. Dwarf, you have your axe?
Donnie, are you ascending the stairs?
I'm looking, and I'm kind of wanting to look at the stones just to see if there's any charredness, or is there any acidity, or anything that could have been chemically altered, so to speak, to see if I could find out what can potentially kill them or anything.
It is mostly weather from hundreds of years of rain and weather. There might be some moss and things that have grown up through cracks in these stones. There doesn't appear to be any rune markings or any magical markings or anything like that. There doesn't appear as if they were hit with some kind of fireball or something. No, and they don't have any apparent the armor that the dwarf looked at. As you guys look at their armor and their shields, they don't look as though they were in combat.
No, they probably ate something on the island.
I make my way back down to where they're at.
Or it was the curse that everybody's been warning us about. But anyways.
Lie, you superstitious dwarf. Let's go chase down the girl.
The stairs ascend into the fog, so unless you go up the stairs, you don't know how far they go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take and pull out my big battle axe, and I'm gonna reach back and pull out a big flail, like a big mace. Nice. I'm gonna be like, it's time for you guys to meet Daisy and Rose.
We'll bring the girls on.
And then I walk up the stairs and I just start banging the flail just to echo down the hallway to kind of get a sense of how deep it is.
As you ascend, are you all ascending? What are you all doing?
I'm following him, and I'm kind of starting to yell at him, will you stop making that noise? We don't want to alert whatever might be down there.
You got her hackles up, lad.
Yeah, so I'm just. Yeah.
At about 15 or 20 steps, you hear the clatter and the creak of armor. You hear the clatter of bones, and around you, you see these warriors stand up with their shields, and there's some with spears, some with swords, and they all align in order. You can see them getting up just out of the edge of your torch. You can see them fold in, the ones that were on the patio below around, and you can hear the old man in the darkness going, "Oh my, namaste, save me!" And you can hear him as these skeletons, warriors, crowd the base of the stairwell, blocking you from coming back. They don't ascend, they encircle the base of the stairwell, and you're 20 stairs up. The ones that are on the stairs stand, and they stand in order with weapons, and a couple of them look and point up the stairs. These bony hands on their armor, their weapons, they point, ascending the stairs.
What witchery is this? Mayhaps you were right, dwarf. They seem to be cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Alas, we're coming up with you. Don't look like the way down is possible anymore.
This is not my first adventure, lad.
Right. Thankfully. And let's hurry.
I shout to Un Adam and say, you might want to follow us.
Oh, he's on the beach.
Yeah, he's
still on the beach.
But they have moved out into the darkness, away from me.
See, it's dark now.
Yeah, they got up and left where he was at, so he's not too worried at this point. But he was yelling. Okay. He didn't know what was happening.
Dwarf, I've heard tales. You can see in the dark more so well than us 6-footers.
I got eyes for the caves, boy. Yes, of course.
Yes. Maybe it's good you can lead us if we have to go into the depths.
Say what you mean and stop fumbling your words. And I walk up over the stairs.
And as you do, there's about 6 skeletons at the top. As you climb up the top, she's behind you with the torch. You don't really need it, but the torch is lighting everything for you. These 6 fold away, and the last 2 point into a dark hole going into a temple or something. Room.
They welcome us.
I don't know if it's a welcoming or if it's here's the pathway to your death.
Now they're quaking in there. You can hear their bones quaking. The dwarf has scared them.
So I just yell out, "All right, we're here. Come out and fight if you're not."
They look at you and point into this hole in the side of an old ruin. It looks like black gaping hole. Of course, the dwarf sees it as gray, right? Just gray tones.
Yeah. All right, I've got my short sword.
I'm gonna smell.
Drawn.
What does it smell like, Jason?
It smells. Gosh, for a dwarf, it would smell good, like stone and earth. It does not smell like.
I don't smell any like steel or burning or.
Nothing like that. Not from here. Okay. You're still outside on the stairs. You haven't entered in yet, but it smells like old stone and wet and humid from the fog, from the lake. But there's no stench of death. There's no stench of
smell like sulfur and corpses.
You said it's like a hole. It's like a hole, like a tunnel we're about to go into.
Yeah.
So before I go in there, I want to get my grappling hook and attach it to my rope. Okay.
Yep.
And I want to kind of, before I go in there, toss it a ways in there, kind of move it around, make sure there's nothing on the floor. If it hits a wall or something, that we ain't getting like any surprises.
How far do you want to? How much rope do you want to let out to throw into this darkness?
Probably 20 feet.
Okay. You hear it hit, and it rings. Dwarf knows instantly that is metal on stone. So the floor of this into this hole, this dark hole, is definitely a stone floor. As it hits and clangs, and as you pull it, it slides easily and pops out. Again, the sound of this, the dwarf goes, "That is finished floor. That is hewn stone."
Good work, Salty.
I grab my torch and I go up. It seems to be safe to walk through, and I slowly go through there.
Okay, so you will need, if you're carrying a torch, you can't use a missile weapon or a shield, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a torch, just so you guys know, if you're carrying that second thing, this torch has been burning now about 25 minutes. You think you got about 40 more minutes on this torch, okay? Okay, so who's leading the way? This is wide enough to go 2 abreast.
Well, so I'll stay abreast with her, and the dwarf can lead forward.
Okay. All right, dwarf. You're not going to be able to utilize your low vision, your low light vision, dwarf, because she's got a torch behind you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. And the minute you break the tunnel, you're in about 5 feet in. You hear the murmur, whispers in your ears. It echoes. You all hear this. It is not in your head. It is a low murmuring of voices, and it's as if somebody's trying to speak to you. You can't make out what they're saying. As you move on into the darkness of this tunnel, again, the dwarf immediately sees beautiful hewn floors. The walls are hewn, the ceiling's hewn. It's about 8 feet to the top. This is about 10 feet wide. This craftsmanship, ancient, probably magical craftsmanship that hewn this. This would not have been of just tool. This would have been some kind of magical.
I just stare with the same sparkle in my eye, like when I was talking about the Azurite, and I'm just like, this is fine craftsmanship.
Done by your people.
You can tell these voices are real. They're not in your heads. They echo. As you move again through this tunnel, this it's actually a hallway. Is the best way to put it. It's a hallway. It never gets lower. It never gets louder. It is a constant murmur and hum of voices that never changes in volume, never changes in intensity, but it's there all the time. Nothing seems to mark the floors or the walls. You travel probably 200 feet, and you begin to see now a stairwell down. And again, dwarf marks that these stairs are perfectly measured. This was craftsmanship to the finest detail.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen the like of this before, and I turn to them both and I say,
not even from your people?
No, never before have I seen the likes of this work. This is something not made by hand.
I don't like the sound of that.
The murmur, although it's not really loud and it doesn't cause you too much. I mean, it's irritating. It's like being in a room with nothing but voices. It's going to affect whether you can hear things, right? But it's not going to cause you any distraction or insanity that you can tell. But it definitely is going to affect whether you hear little things, right?
Mm-hmm. Keep your wits about you.
This descends down. Again, you notice, Dwarf, that the geometric dimensions of this never falter. So even as you come to a stairway that heads down, it's the perfect square or the perfect rectangle. Everything is just, again, top of the line. You do, though, Dwarf, begin to smell fresh air, and they're vented through perfect holes in the ceiling. At some point, you can look up. It's hard to see, but you can assess from your dwarven history that these are probably light and air holes that lead to the outdoor. They probably are lit in the day by these holes, and there's oxygen freshly.
And I just turn to my comrades. I just look and I go, it's peculiar how something crafted by the gods were made for someone who could breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. And perhaps.
And I'm just going to keep walking. I'm just going to keep going down that stairwell. Keep descending.
You, aside from the voices, the dwarf, you would feel pretty darn. This would be pretty comforting to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is elite.
I'm in explorer mode. I'm like, this is amazing, and then.
Right. When you do whisper to each other, because of the voices, you have to speak a little louder. And you hear this again. These walls are they're again, the rock. You would have to make a roll to discern the rock, but it echoes well in this perfectly hewn rectangle tunnels, right?
Okay.
So when you whisper, you have to speak up louder, and you can hear it reverberate. It sounds if it's going a long way. After about descending these stairs, I'm assuming you want to go down these stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You descend these stairs. It seems like a quarter of a mile down and down. At this point, Dwarf, you realize these holes that would have created natural light and would have created airflow. At this point, cease to exist. You are now smelling that it's more musky and less fresh air. There's not much break or crack in any of this hewn stone, so there's not a whole lot of fresh air that's coming through this. Once you arrive at the bottom, you all may notice this, especially the dwarf again. There is no sand. There is no dust on the floors. You take about 10 feet into this next hallway, and as you step forward, your foot doesn't touch, and you feel you almost lose your balance as it drives your foot to the right. You're not able to actually step on that stone. It's almost like when you push two magnets together, and it repulses. So as you start to put that foot down, it kind of pushes you to the right. You realize there's this stone that is creating some kind of energy that's forcing everything to the right or left and keeping this stone clear of debris, of dust, of dirt. You can see in the corners where dust and dirt has been forced and piled up over the eons, and keeping this beautiful hewn stone. It's almost reflects your torch back edge.
Okay, I just walk over to the Sazir and put my hand on her shoulder. And I just go, "My dear, I craft. I don't solve riddles." And I just start sweating profusely as if I'm like super nervous.
And again, the noise, the voices never change, still murmuring, constant.
The orc maiden surely wouldn't send us down here if there wasn't a way to retrieve this sword. Salty.
I want to go close to where it's at and look at it.
And Salty, look at your, and I grab her arm or whatever, and pull it out and look at her tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I look down at it.
Her tattoo's undulating normally, like it normally does. It changes from one set of runes to another. They don't appear to be any different than when she burned it on you.
I want to stick my arm further, like closer to.
Yeah, you can reach past this.
Well,
this point.
When she did that, I reached in and grabbed one of those rocks that she had, and I tossed it over my shoulder like that, behind me, to see if it.
You toss it into this.
Like further on down. Okay.
Yeah, you can see it. You can actually see it hit this. It won't hit the ground, but it hits almost. Like it doesn't make contact with the surface, and it's driven right into the wall on the left and sinks into the dirt.
I stick to the walls.
I hand him some more rocks. Like I just hand him the rocks, kind of watching what he's doing.
Okay. Yeah, if you throw a couple more, they randomly, depends on whether it's more right or left, they'll bounce left into the wall, right into the wall, and they'll just sink into the dirt. It's like it's keeping this floor perfectly clean.
Aye. It is a riddle, dwarf. If the sword lies in the middle,
it's clearly pitching things right or left.
If the sword lies in the middle, it looks like to keep everything to the wall. Well, who's first? And then I look at him, I kind of shrug, and I take a step off into it myself. Kind of jump off with both feet.
Okay. Yeah, so let's do let me do a die 6 check here, okay?
Okay.
So you land more on the right side, and it pushes. It's almost like it just pushes you over bang against the wall, and your feet are like it's almost like you're on a conveyor belt, right? Your feet are constantly laterally, and you're banged into the wall. Not enough to hurt you or anything. It's
safe.
Pulsing energy. It's like safe. You're walking on air, but it's constantly pushing right or left.
It's safe. Just stay to the walls. We can make our way back, and you'll see me start walking along.
Yeah, and you're almost like sliding along. You almost have to.
Blunder is just gonna laugh like uncontrollably. And just say, "You look like a bloody fool, boy."
I may be a bloody fool now, but I'll be a rich one soon.
His echo of his laugh reverberates down this dark chamber.
So instead of just stepping on it, I want to kind of kneel down and kind of like scooch myself sitting down because I don't want to be flung into the wall.
Right.
So I want to do it gracefully.
Okay.
Slide over here, my dear.
Sure. So yeah, you just go. You want to get on the left side, right up against it, and just go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to being pitched into the
Exactly.
Oh, she's on the other side of me. All right. fine.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Okay, dwarf. You see them. She's on the left wall, shimmying down the left side with her torch, and you can see her torch is starting to dim too, dwarf. You noticed this. She's maybe noticed it, and of course he's on the right, shimmying along the wall. Their feet are moving as this thing's constantly pushing in a direction.
Okay. I'm going to drop my flail on the ground, and then I'm going to walk around, sit down on it, dig my axe down in point facing down, and
Okay.
I'm just going to kick my feet up on either side of the axe. And I'm going
Okay.
to stretch back and light a torch and just say, let's see how this goes.
So you're gonna try to ride it down the hall?
No, I'm just sitting
He's just
down. I'm
watching.
just
Oh,
sitting
you're
down
just
and I'm
watching
just observing and
Okay.
just have made myself a little chair, so to speak.
Yeah. So you got a torch lit, and you watch them shimming along. Eventually, her torchlight gets smaller. Their feet hitting the walls gets less loud. Now you can't hear them over the murmur, and you're sitting here in the dark by yourself. Well, not in the dark. You got a torch. You're sitting here now in alone.
Okay. Now, as far as us, Saltine, I'm trying to see if I can see her, if she's within eye shot, and also
Yeah,
if I
she's
can
not.
hear her.
She's not like she's like 10 feet. She got
Oh,
into this
it's just
tunnel
like
like
a
10 feet
corridor. It's
behind
not widened out
Yeah.
any.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's still exactly the same dimensions, except you came to the bottom of the stairs. You went about 10 feet before you encountered this particular floor.
Okay, and we still see the flat in between. I mean, we're still right above the floor level, basically.
Yeah,
There's
you
no
guys aren't
drop-off.
actually touching the floor. It's like some
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
force, right?
I turned to him. I'm like, as I'm entering, I'm looking in his direction. I'm like, what the hell could be doing this?
I don't know, my dear. Yeah, you hear the murmuring. It looks like the dwarf.
You can see his torch way
off in the
down
distance.
where you left, where you got into this corridor
Yeah.
burning, and you can maybe just see the outline of him.
Looks like he couldn't steal himself. And then I laugh a little bit to my own self. All right.
Didn't think he was going to be much good anyway.
All right, my dear. But let's find the sword and get out of there.
Amen to that.
They're probably 300 feet before you see her torch basically get so small now they're 300 feet or so away.
Okay, so I get up at this point and I'm like, well, I didn't hear them die, so I may as well give it a shot. And
Okay.
then gather up my things, put them all away.
Okay.
And I'm literally going to go down the same side as Wolf, but I'm just going to run and, dive and slide,
Nice.
along the wall.
Right, so as you hit, again, you don't feel any pain because you bounce on this kind of energy, slams you into the wall, and you slide a little ways until your momentum stops you. And it's now your body and everything's being pushed into the wall because you're laying down, right?
All right, and I'm just going to kind of wheel fumble down with the energy and kind of
Right.
upside down.
Kind of tumbling down the hall. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, the murmur never changes. You can hear this clatter and racket behind you too. As you come to the edge, you feel first, Wolf, because you're ahead of everybody. You
Yeah.
feel your hand come free into the darkness. Her torch
Whoa, whoa.
now is
Yeah. Good.
her torch now is almost out, Donnie. As you approach the same spot, your hand reaches into an open room. basically.
Saltine!
You step into some large room.
All right.
And you can hear the clatter of your dwarven friend stomping, running, pitching. He might even curse once in a while as he gets slammed into the wall. Clattering of his weapons and his gear and his armor. His feet. You can't really hear his feet, but you can hear that he's hitting the wall every time he steps. Right?
I guess the cowardly dwarf got scared and figured he'll be running. And I throw down the torch and I light up a new one. And
Okay.
I go, are you okay, Wolf?
Saltine, looks like we've reached the end here. You feel it?
Yeah, I feel it.
Maybe this is where the sword lies. And I'm looking out across interior here. And I'm listening.
As you light the torch, this room is not well hewn. This is carved rock. The floor is filthy and muddy. You can make something out just out of torchlight to to your right, diagonally to your right. It appears to be somewhat a round cavern, chamber. As the dwarf comes bounding out, steps here, you splat. You immediately almost slide in the mud and the muck, and you look about, and you know instantly. You smell this. This is earth. This now is. Well, you've left the beauty that was that piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're in the back alley.
All right. And again, dwarf, you see a little better with your eyesight, and you see not far a bundle on the floor, and it appears to be a sword sticking out of a bundle on the floor. There's a slight glow around it, dwarf. You pick it up immediately with your eye, with your darks. It's emanating like a green aura. Unfortunately, and then beside that is like a stone throne, and of course, crossing in the background behind that throne appears to be, for the lack of a better term, an ephemeral, ghostly specter.
Glad to see you made it, dwarf. I guess your
I just
short
go,
legs took a while. What's that?
For once in your life, don't talk, boy. Just listen.
All I can hear is murmuring. It's driving me insane.
There's something here.
Okay, then I dart and look around even more.
As you squint into this room with a torch flashing behind you, you do just see something move, Wolf. Beyond, and you start to see something sticking out of this bundle, and you do see something cross. Dwarf, you see it more clear as it gets away from the stone. It crosses over to something you can't make out in the darkness. It appears to be moving its hands again in a ghostly fashion, and then it turns again and floats across. As it gets to its throne, it looks in your direction, and then it faces you. It squares its chest to you all standing in this doorway of this chamber, this cavern.
Dwarf, ready your axe. I'll go after. It looks like the bundle.
Yeah, I pull that out. I pull Daisy and Rose out. It's like, get ready, girls.
Okay, and I have my bow and arrow, and I'm not knocking an arrow and pulling it back. And I will.
Go ahead.
I want to let one fly at the shape.
Okay, make a roll to hit. At this, and you can see it more clearly now that it's on this side of the throne, on your side of the throne. It's about 40 feet from you, right?
Okay, rolled a. What's it? 17.
Where's my bad guys here? Oh, here we go. Okay, you rolled a what? I'm sorry.
17. That's with
okay,
that's modded. Yeah.
You can tell that arrow hit it square in the chest, and it just goes right through him. You hear it hit and clatter on the stone behind him, and then his chest closes back up with this like misty spectral. Its eyes then grow large. Its mouth goes large, as if it's screaming. You can actually see its eyes and mouth get so large you can see through its head. And then it screams some unbelievably high-pitched scream.
Okay.
Everybody make a save versus spells.
Do I just save? Oh my god, again.
11.
3.
Okay,
What did you get,
4?
Drew?
I got a 1.
Oh my
I got
gosh.
11.
I knew you got something.
Oh my gosh.
Shut up
Okay,
quick.
so you all are you're basically paralyzed with fright. And it'll last 1d6 turns. Again, I'm using my pre-roll chart.
I
You're
urinate.
standing terrified. I don't know if you made it at 12. I think you needed a 12 plus. Did you not, Thief? Saltine?
I rolled 11.
And
So,
unfortunately,
yeah.
I believe level 3 versus spells, you needed a 15.
15, yeah.
Yeah, Wolf's just standing there transfixed after he sees that arrow. go
So
through
you're frozen in fright as this thing screams. You're all very aware that pouring from the floor, the walls, the holes, the dwarf now begins to realize there's so many cracks and fissures in this stone, pours out just swarms of rats. And these rats engulf you. You will all take, all of you, let's see here, will take 3 points of damage this turn.
Woo!
Ooh, say that again.
And that's one turn. You're all terrified. The specter stands watching as this. Again, you can't count the rats. The floor is covered in them. You're covered in them. These things are biting and clawing and scratching. 2 more points of damage. Hopefully, you guys are.
I know.
I know. I'm hurting. I'm down to 2.
Okay.
In my mind, I know we gotta get a sword. Yeah.
And your final round of being frozen in terror, 1 point of damage. Again, checking off my pre-roll charts, right? Okay, so again, you're the swarm of rats at your feet, on your back, your head. The floor appears to be undulating in them. This specter is 40 feet away, just watching.
As soon as I break out of this, and I don't know if we need to roll for initiative or whatever. I'm
No,
screaming.
you can.
I'm screaming.
You can smack them. These things. You don't have. You can't miss them. There's so many of them.
I just want to break through them and run straight for that sword. Is what I want to do, and straight for the apparition.
So just roll damage. Roll your damage to see how many of these things you kill as you cut through to run for the.
Okay, this is D6, right?
Right.
Yeah, of course.
And they have to hit you now, by the way, because you're not just stunned, frozen. So
okay, that's fine.
So they don't automatically do damage. Okay, so you guys know they have to roll to hit.
Yeah.
What now?
5.
You killed 5. You see other rats immediately try to get in your path. As you break through, you kill 5 of these rats. I think you can move 27 feet. So you've got another turn to get to the pile and to the sword. What are you doing, Saltine?
I just want to get as many of these things off of me because I'm hurting.
Okay. So you want to kill them or just you want to be defensive?
Kill. I'll go ahead and kill them.
Okay. So make a roll to see how many you kill. All you're doing is rolling damage from your weapon.
All right.
You can't not hit them, basically.
Okay. So D6 minus 1, so 4.
Okay. Wow, good. So you killed 5, 4. Okay, and again, they don't get a chance to roll to hit yet. Drew, tell me, what are you doing, sir, with these rats?
I take the battle axe and I take the flail and I take the 2 girls and I take them by the ends and I like clasp them together and lock it into place.
Nice.
And then I just start like swinging it over my head and just like taking them out with the flail and the battle axe and like
roll
a bow
damage.
staff.
Roll damage.
8, so 3 and 5.
Jeez.
Nice. All right. Let's see. We've had 9 and 8. Okay, not bad. Good. Okay, so they get to roll on to hit on. So no hit on you, Saltine. A no hit on you, Wolf, and no hit on you, Blunder. On this turn. Okay, so this turn, the specter literally is standing 8 feet from the bundle and the sword. As you're crossing, running from these rats, it turns and you see it reach for the sword, and its hand passes through the sword as it's trying to grab this sword with its left hand. As it watches you run, it's trying to grab this sword. It can't actually do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still going to run for the sword? What are you doing?
Yeah, I want to be able to pull it out. My mindset is run, grab it, pull it out, and take it.
Okay, so make a dex check to run, snatch it.
Yeah.
Dex under. So what you need to do is add your modifier to your dex score. You have a dex modifier.
No.
So what's your dex?
My dex is no, I do have a dex modifier. 16 plus 1.
So 17 and below, you're successful.
Well,
That's how that works.
A 3.
Sweet. So you leap, grab this sword, roll. That's nice. I don't believe it. Doesn't matter. I don't believe it.
I always do.
And that's your move. So you do have a melee on this turn if you want to.
All right. Yeah, definitely. I want to grab it, swing it. Oh, jeez, no, another 3.
Okay. It though you can't really miss it. I mean, you swing through it, and you see it separate, and you hear it scream out, right, as if it felt the energy of this. And this thing's vibrating lightly in your hands as you get it. You can feel its energy. Okay, let's roll damage. No, oh wait, I'll ask you first. So, do you want to damage these rats again, Donnie, or do you have another plan?
You said that they're still swarming us, right?
Yeah. There is a limit to its. I mean, it does have hit points. This swarm, so.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kill them again.
Okay.
So I rolled a 5.
Nice. Okay, good. So, and then of course it is Drew's turn. It is Blunder's turn before they get to roll a hit.
Okay, can I run towards Spectre as well?
Sure. You just want to run toward the Spectre.
And smack it with one end of the weapon, I guess.
Okay. So you can cover. I think you cover 9, 2, 9, 10, 27. So it'll take you a second turn to get there, right? To cross this whole thing.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna run towards it and same
You
thing.
can throw
flail.
it. I mean, you could throw it.
Yeah.
Or you could throw like a dagger or a hand axe or something if you have it.
No, I don't. I'm just gonna throw the whole thing.
Nice. Okay, so roll.
Let's twirl it. And...
Okay, so roll to hit. This is at the thingy, right?
Jeez, 11.
Okay, you whip this while you're running, and it clearly goes through him. You can see his form break to pieces, and you can hear this as you're standing there with the sword. You see him whip this through this ghost, hammers the wall, and hits the floor, and it comes back together. It turns, and again, its eyes open up wide, its mouth, and it bellows another scream. Unfortunately, it can't hurt you with fear again because you've already been there, done that, right? But it screams. It doesn't appear to have been hurt, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we got to roll for damage for the rats. The rats on Donnie. 7 will not hit Donnie. 18 will hit Drew, though, right? As he's running away. 4, Drew, for 2 points of damage. You're not dead, are you?
I'm barely alive.
Oh, hang in there. Dang.
You better stay up, but I ain't going to
Now remember,
I'm not telling you what it is, though, Jason.
No, you don't need to. But do remember, we're playing with the optional rules. We have binding wounds.
Yeah.
Right? So we're playing with a more less lethal. So
Cool.
Just remember that. You're not dead immediately, Zero, okay?
Okay.
All right. It is now. The rats already rolled on Donnie, missed, hit you. Okay, so the Spectre screamed again, which can't affect you a second time. It is now your go, Del.
Okay.
Starting round 3.
Okay.
Round 4, actually.
Blasted dwarf! We need to get out of here. I've got the sword. And I say, but you've already thrown the thing, and I see you're coming up.
His melee weapon is gone, right?
Yeah, it's already gone through there. You're still charging in, right? I know you're coming in, so I'm yelling that over my shoulder. And I'll take another whack at the thing.
Okay.
Okay, that's 12.
12, that's, okay, so roll 1 die 12 plus 1 plus your strength damage.
Oh. That's 8 altogether.
Ooh, this thing screams out. You can feel it when you hit it. Your muscles like cramp as you carve through this. I mean, literally, it's like all of your muscles lock and cramp as you carve through this specter. But you can tell it is made form. This magical sword is made form. This specter, and it is damaged. It bellows out, screams again. This time, though, not in fear, in pain. And it turns its energy towards you, Wolf. All right, Donnie, what do you want to do? These rats are still swarming.
Can I see him, like what he just did?
You can hear this thing scream.
Okay. So that I'm going to still be
Hacking and whacking.
trying to kill off as many of these rats
Okay.
as possible.
Just roll damage.
Up to.
Okay. You're starting to realize as you're carving through them that now there's just a few. You're sweating. They're no longer on you and biting you. And there's a couple that run for the corners and run into the crevices and into the mud and the filth. And you realize you're standing alone among a lot of dead rats.
Okay.
Drew, what do you want to do, sir?
I'm gonna.
Oh, you can move, by the way, Donnie. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You can
No,
move.
you're fine.
Okay.
I was just going to say I'm going to, at this point, try to take, in what I'm seeing and trying to make sure that nothing else is hitting me because I know I am not good right now.
Okay. Kind of have a seat in the mud. Kind of flop down in the mud.
Kind of like, just resting.
Nice. Okay. Go ahead, Drew. What are you doing there, Blunder?
Walk over to my melee weapons, unclasp them, kind of look around and scan the area.
Focused on Wolf now. Totally focused on Wolf.
Do I see an exit or anything?
There is a tunnel out to the. So you guys came in the room. The Spectre and the throne and the sword were on the right. To the left side, in the corner, is another tunnel out of this room, and it's about 25 feet, 30 feet from you. Right.
Okay, I'm gonna start pouring oil and walking towards the exit.
Nice. Okay, sweet. You can cover that in. You're about 25 feet. You can cover the whole distance if you run.
Yeah. We'll do that.
So you'll cover it, and you're pouring oil to that exit.
Dump out all my oil. Yeah, I got 3 liters of it or whatever it is.
Sweet. Okay, so you've lit oil. Okay, we are back to the top of the round, right? No, wait a second. You hit it, correct? You guys have moved. The rats are disbanded. They're dead. Okay, so this creature swings on you, Del, with one of its hands, swings through you. You manage to step as it just... you see its fingers, the wisps of its fingers right in front of your face. And you feel your arms just uncramping from that attack on this specter. It is now round 5.
Okay.
And you're going first.
Round 5. All right. Yeah, I'm in melee. I mean, heavy to it, so I'm just swinging again. Screaming, too, from that. 18? Well, no, what? No, 19 with a plus, yeah.
Sweet. Roll your damage. 1d12 plus 1 plus your strength if you have it.
13.
Oh, this, again, you cramp up. It's so bad this time. You actually take a point of damage. It hurts so bad. All your muscles lock. You come to a knee. You drive your sword into the mud as this thing screams out and then spirals and spins, screaming, and gone. And you hear the murmuring of the voices stop.
I'm like, as I go through it, and when I finally get through it, because I just took that hit point, I go down on one knee and like the sword hits the ground as it breaks free. And I kind of drop back and fall back and just watch it swirl and drift off,
Screaming. And when it vanishes, all the murmuring and all the talking and everything that's been going gone. You stand now in this empty chamber. In I'm assuming the torch is still in your hands, Donnie, right?
Yes, because that's what I was using kind of to fight them off.
I'm like, salty, dwarves. I'm getting back up on my knee,
I shout out Wolf's name.
What's that?
It's Blunder.
I'm gonna run back and try to pick Dale up by the shirt and try to drag him.
Yeah, I'm up halfway up when you did that, and so I pull up.
So put it a full ways up. We start walking towards the exit, and then I'm just like, Do it, girl. And then I look down at the ground where I laid all the oil, and I look at the torch in her hand.
Yeah.
I try to, get up because I'm hurting, and I'm like, thank God, you guys are okay. And I take and throw.
No! I say as you do it, and I do it in slow motion like that. Is that torch? That'd be a good stopping thing.
Let me finish what I'm saying. I go and I throw down the last bottle of oil I have on me, because I have one on me, and throw it back at it. And I'm like, I don't want those fucking rats to follow us.
Right.
Just like that.
Okay, you almost gave Wolf a heart attack. He's like, no, dwarf, no, don't be so hasty. Get the bundle, and then I'm turning around and I'm feeling for the bundle, right? And
Yeah, the bundle is the heap of bones of not of an old warrior. A crown. There's a golden crown with.
I'm a thief, baby. I'm pilfering like crazy.
There is a gold necklace among these bones, and there is a golden scepter that lay there, like something a king would have carried. A scepter.
I told you, dwarf.
Right.
I walk over and I just start picking everything up, and I'm like, "You guys said this is all for me," and I just start putting it in my bag.
No, don't be so hasty.
Dwarf, you notice the stone throne is ajar as well as you walk by and you watch them. You guys are all dividing up treasure and looking at this heap of bones of this old warrior. That clearly, by the way, you pulled this sword out of this thing, right? Somebody killed this warrior with this sword and left it stuck in it. Okay. Anyway, as you walk by, dwarf, you see that stone throne is kind of off kilter.
Peculiar. I'm gonna. Can I stomp my foot on it or try to kick it over?
Yeah. Yeah. Make a strength check. Add your strength modifier and roll below.
Okay, I did roll below. I got a 10.
Okay,
my strength was 11.
You hit and it scrapes stone on stone, pivots, and then it kind of hits a corner, and then the whole stone rolls back off its pillar, crashing, and you see pieces of it start to break off. There's a hole, where this thing is set over on a pillar, and there's a hole about 4 feet. It's square, so it's about 4 feet square, right?
So light a torch, look in it.
So as you do, and you wave it in it, you see that there is glimmering back at you. There's clearly something gleaming back at you. As you adjust, maybe move the torch slightly out of your sight, you see that it looks like coins.
Ooh, dwarf likes coins.
Right.
What do you find over there, dwarf? I'm just getting up from the thing. Now, when you said you was grabbing that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At that time, I flash the sword at you and I say, "The woman, she belongs to me. What she says is of no consequence. This, she speaks with her forked tongue. We split evenly. And I'm looking at you like that. It's I that cleave the apparition. At
this point, I kind of limp up and get next to him. I'm like, painfully, what he says, and points at Wolf, like holding my side, like leaning on him.
We're all tore up, man.
I look at the gold coins, and I kind of look at the wolf, and I look at the gold coins, and I take out of my bag the crown, and I put it on my head, and I take out of the bag the scepter, and I hold it in my hand, and I look at him and I say, "Who's the king around here?"
All right, Les, what did you say?
I will give the peasants the gold, and I turn around and I walk towards the exit.
Toward the new exit or the one you came in?
The new exit.
Okay. So in this hole under the throne is coins.
I pull out my small sack and I just start piling them what I can in there.
Okay. Small sack won't do it. You fill it up pretty quick.
All right. So I throw my small sack into my backpack, and
Okay.
I look at you. I'm like, you got anything?
Now how much are we looking at? If I was to, I mean, as far as volume, it's going to take
Probably another large sack.
Okay, and that's one thing
I think a small sack is 15 pounds worth of coins.
Haha,
Yeah.
now you want my help, boy, don't you?
Hey,
And then the large sack I think is 30, can be up to 30 pounds worth.
dwarf.
So
She's with me. We split it 50-50, us and you. Is that good? For
Aye.
her quick response, that'll teach her a lesson, and me too. All right.
Aye, you mind your tongue.
All right. We still got to find our way off this rock. All right.
Okay.
So, do you have something to pick up any more of these coins or no?
I have
do,
a
I-
backpack, but I'll have to empty like my stuff. But
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
have to be
really
setting all our
wanting to do
freaking
that.
stuff out, dumping all that.
Yeah, I have a large sack, but the thing is like I usually carry the weapons in there, so I'm just gonna like clip
Right.
them onto my back or whatever.
Okay. And
use
fill
them
up
that
this
way.
large sack?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have no large
Okay.
sack. I just got a utility belt with all kinds of stuff on it.
Okay. So right. Okay, so you've got all the coins you can, and there's still edges. There's still coins around the edges
Yeah.
that the both thieves hate leaving behind, but you
Yeah,
can't get them all in
really.
these bags. These are heavy though. It's going to slow you down, and you're going to be dragging this large bag of coins, and it's 30 pounds. So it will affect your move speed and things like that, right? So just be aware of that.
Yep.
I
You managed
passed-
to gather up.
I pass it to Wolf. And
You carried us
I
on your
just-
shoulders, Bo. You can carry them 2 bags.
No, I'm holding I'm wearing the king's crown and the scepter, so the peasant carries the gold.
The thief doesn't want to carry the bag of coins? Holy
Yeah, right?
cow.
All right, I'll carry the bag.
Know your place, Del. Know your place.
You're a thief. You're just a lowly thief. You're a thief among kings.
Ah,
Meanwhile, do you want to stop and bind wounds? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the page
I would
39,
like
binding
to.
of wounds.
yeah,
I
we're
would
gonna
like
have to
to.
bind wounds because they ain't got squat.
So it's a 1d6 hit points worth of wounds can be fixed right immediately after battle. Right,
All right,
All right.
10 minutes up to if you rest for basically 10 minutes after battle.
we're
All right,
doing
so
that.
One
One.
dice.
what is
6?
that- What is it? 1d6.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep, 1d6.
4.
Oh my god! I
Nice.
had
So
to
add
roll a
4 hit
1.
points.
So I've only healed up 2. So
Okay.
I'm down to 3.
Hey, it's better than me. I just healed up 1.
Woo.
Y'all don't got that dwarven stone skin.
Right. You might want to. I mean, you could camp here. Probably there doesn't appear to be a threat, right?
I don't have any camping stuff.
I go and I kind of pat on the back of my backpack and I look at Wolf and I go, "What do you say? Camping out here together?"
Aye, as long as we can get some privacy. Maybe we can sleep on the bag of coins. Yeah. Let's go ahead and camp it out.
Okay.
So are we outside? We just went outside the ruins here now?
Nope.
No, we're still in the tunnel.
You traveled about 200. I think 200 feet. Where's my map? So you traveled 200 feet straight ahead. Then you went down about 200 feet. Then you went about 300 feet. So you're underground.
Yeah,
About
but I
another-
mean towards the exit. Where are we?
So if you're that's smaller and it's hewn out of the ground. I mean, it's an earthen hole that clearly was made here. You don't know how far that goes. When you look into that hole with a torch, you can't see how far that goes from this cavern you're in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we don't hear we don't hear any voices, so it's good to camp here. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I look at Wolf. I go, "How well are you at building some rafts just like that?"
Maybe I could whittle some with my daggers. I'm sure we can string some together. Fell some timbers. The dwarf has an axe.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking.
Let him work
I'd
for his
hate
pay
to
for
see
once.
this. I would hate to see that lovely bag go back in its hole.
Yes, we need the dwarf. He'll work for his pay. He'll come in handy. So, yeah.
Okay, so
We're gonna
you
do
build
any
a
watches?
fire? Are you gonna build a fire? What are you
There
doing?
ain't no smoke holes in here, right? You said it was musty and everything.
Right. Yeah. There's
gonna
no
smoke
sense of
ourselves
fresh
out.
air here, dwarf.
Yeah.
The dwarf can tell for sure. There's no air flowing through here.
Well, then, if there's no air flowing through, you need oxygen to light a fire.
Yeah.
Well, I
was
mean,
just-
there's enough oxygen.
Come
It's
on,
not-
Jason.
But I mean, it's not like there's no sense. Of
We can
smell.
make our way back
Fresh air.
up to the
Yeah,
area
yeah.
where there's smoke holes and set camp.
Right. You suffocate. Good night.
Uh,
It was fun.
The end.
but those
You slay the specter, but then you choke to death. Okay.
on your own fire fumes. Yeah, there's I'm worried about the skeletons outside.
Yeah.
Perhaps they await us. But it looks like they meant us no harm.
Well, the voices also stopped the minute you killed this thing, right? The murmuring
Yeah.
voices.
Hey, maybe the curse is lifted. Won't Ung Adams be happy about that? We should go tell him our news. You want to try to make it up
Yeah.
to up to where they are and get a proper rest before we head
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with that.
All right. I got some rations too. Obviously.
Mhm.
I have
I
a
got
water
some too, so-
skin. I have ration. I came prepared, just not a 10-foot pole.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody needs a 10-foot pole. You know that. Never leave home without it. It's dangerous to go along. Here, take this 10-foot pole. All right.
Okay, so you're gonna make camp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Now we're gonna go upstairs, right? Is that where we're going? Or?
yeah. Yeah, I want to go upstairs and
Oh,
Oh,
we
you're
gotta
you're
go
going
back
back
to-
the way you came.
Yeah, we can't leave
Yeah.
Ung Adam there by himself.
Okay.
So I mean, if we can make it back upstairs,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a hard climb and to the side.
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
I just want to make sure before we hit that water, before that thing again, if it comes back,
Right.
that I'm rested.
Yeah.
You drag these bags on this floor that pushes you to the wall. So you're trying to slide along the walls of this cavern, dragging all this weight. It takes you almost an hour. You've gone through another torch, Donnie, going through this 300 feet, dragging this weight as it pushes it against the wall. You got to pull all your stuff, your gear. You get to the stairs. You're sweating profusely. You're wounded. You're beat up.
Mhm.
You look up, knowing you've got another 250 feet climb up these stairs out. You manage to do that in a few minutes, dragging these bags of coins, all your gear. You get to the top, and again back to this area now, dwarf, where you can smell the holes where the light and the fresh air would come in during the day. It's beautiful. This is so well crafted. You can slide the bags on the floor. You can just walk now sliding. They slide nice and easy. You come to the edge. You find Un Adams is sitting inside the doorway. He has made a little campfire there, and he's sitting. And when he hears you coming, he looks up, smiles, and says, "Come, look."
Adams.
And as you poke your head out, you see all of these skeletons now are collapsed, and they're laying roughly where they were when you first encountered them. The fog is lifted, and you can now see a little sunlight coming up over the horizon where dawn is breaking.
I sit down and drop one of the bags right beside him. Tired. Look at him. Indeed, the curse is lifted. And then I pull the bag a little bit and show him. And you will be well paid, as my lady told you.
He looks and he says, you have enough there to save the whole village of Unpilton.
Aye, and indeed. And
And you'll have a nice boat too, as I slump down and put my head on Wolf's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Well,
first we rest.
how are we going to get home?
We'll decide that, but first we rest. The dwarf has an axe; he can fell some timber. We can.
Yeah, I mean,
And
this is an island. It's just
I
you have
start
to be on the
whistling.
right.
I come down the steps and I start whistling. I'm whistling like, like a jolly tune from like a king in the medieval era. You know what I mean? Like, there once was a king named Blunder, the lie fiddly,
He
right? And I'm
liked
like,
to plunder.
yeah, and they all called him Creed. There you go. So that's my little. Right?
Nice.
So he walks out on the stairs and he's like singing this little tune to himself, and he's got the crown and the scepter,
Mhm.
and he's just smiling at the Atom.
Nice. Oh, do you want to camp here? Or do you guys want to keep going, or do you want to stop? Are you guys okay to go, or what?
No.
I'm gonna have to stop in like
Yep.
20 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably get off the. I mean, if we could attempt
Yeah.
to,
Sure.
and get a sail away into the sunset type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just rest for the night to make sure that we're healed
Okay.
up. Since he's already
Yeah.
got the place prepped for us.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna over the next 3 or 4 days, you're gonna have to gather the things to build a raft. Meanwhile, the dwarf will have to put the raft together. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a couple of rolls to see how much stuff you guys can gather together.
Okay.
So, Del, make a die 20 check for me with a die 10 to see how much stuff you get here.
A die 20 check with a die 10.
Die 20 check, but roll a die 10 with it.
Oh, gotcha.
Right?
Got
Roll
it.
them together.
Okay, 10 on die 10 and 5 on the die 20.
Okay. So that's a okay. And Donnie, do the same for me. Die 20 with a die 10. Give me your total.
Okay. I got 16 and 6.
Nice. 22. Okay. Okay, dwarf, you're gonna get. You have an opportunity now to use this equipment that they've gathered. They've cut down timber. They've carved out. They've helped you carve it out. They've stripped roots from the ground to help
I've got 50
binding
foot
these
of
things
rope
together.
too. So.
Yep. And you now need to roll, sir, a die 10 and add their modifier to it. You're looking to beat a 15. So roll a die 10.
Okay. King Creed sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to set himself up in that island. Nice dig.
Not our new island. Yeah. I got a
Yeah.
6.
6 plus their 11 gives you 17. You beat it by 2. So over the course of about 4 days, you guys build a nice little raft. We need to heal up 4 hit points each for everybody over 4 days.
Yes.
Right, and of course you can't go above your high, of course, but 4 more
Yeah.
hit points for 4 days. As far as food, you guys have rations. You need to knock off 4 days worth of food. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So this thing is built. The old man has helped the best he can. He has cooked. He has tried to use your rations to make edible, decent eating for everybody. He has guarded your sacks of treasure while you were off foraging for this lumber and roots and things to put all this together. While he's helped the dwarf hold things in place while the dwarf has built this raft. He now looks at you on the morning of the 5th day, which will be another hit point if you have it. Right, the morning of the 5th day, he smiles and says, "It is time to throw it in the lake and see if she floats."
See, she better.
About damn time.
He has fashioned a couple of shields. During this 4 or 5 days, he's taken some of these skeleton bones and shields, and he's fashioned a pretty good little oar. You throw it in the water, and it floats. Now he steps in, and it's floating. Next, who wants to step in?
I'll jump in.
Okay, it's floating. Del?
I'll step in too.
Okay,
And the
so
question
everybody's
is-
in. Now, what about the gear? So one of you can step out and now throw this.
Oh yeah, we need to first off, I would think, put all.
You
the
got a
gold.
whole lot of treasure here. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to.
I mean, I have a crowbar and a grappling hook and rope maybe we can take some stuff and like tie it onto it
Well,
and let it drag.
The biggest concern is weight. It could sink it. All of you plus the gold are the. It's not all gold. Some is copper, some is silver, but it's a lot of coins.
yeah. Well,
How much is the town's? How much does? And I'm asking this to Unam. How much does the town? Oh, like, to
what's
these
their
people?
debt?
It depends on the Kleun Ron, but normally we pay 300 gold per visit.
All right.
I don't know what was in our treasury when the gnome was stolen, but normally we have enough from the sale of our fish and crops and.
So what if we bury this gold, take what we need for your people, and come back for it?
Adams is fine with that. That's great.
Now let's see how much we can carry.
Let's build a separate raft
I know
for
that's
the
what I was thinking
coins.
about. That's what I was thinking.
But it's going to take us 5 days, and I'm starving.
Hey, no,
Eat the gold.
no. Listen,
You haven't actually tried loading it on the raft with your.
I know we can try to load it on the
Yeah.
raft, but otherwise he can get a net if it's washed up on shore, or we can make him a net. He's a fisherman; he can keep us fed while we're doing this.
Right.
So, I mean,
You want to build another smaller raft, just for your gear and.
let's throw some stuff on here and see how far we get. Right?
Okay. So he climbs in. You guys load these big bags of coins.
Yeah.
Who's climbing in next?
I will.
Okay. How heavy are you? Right.
Standard 130. I'm a human.
Right. And your armor and everything. So you're okay.
Yeah, I'm leather.
All right. Next, who's getting on?
And I'm probably about 150, I'd say, with
Okay.
Wolf.
All right, Drew. How heavy are you as a dwarf here?
I'm pretty heavy.
About 150.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, but
about
you're
150,
short,
but
man.
I got 2 weapons and I have chainmail.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're about 200 pounds total.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's. Whoo! 8. Let me look. I don't know if this has it. If not, I'll look it up in one of my other books. Let me do that real quick. I'm curious. This is where you need rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Throw your chainmail off. You can buy some new one when we get back. I'd rather carry.
You
50.
throw your chainmail off.
Aye. You can craft you
Pervert.
some more. You can craft you some more. You throw that off. I'd rather carry 50 pounds worth of.
I bet you would. You'd like to see me throw my stuff off.
Okay, makeshift raft.
No, you should stay here and live in that.
Yeah,
nice
you're
house.
probably gonna have to lose 100 pounds worth of something. That could be gear or it could be coins. Now, if you want to spend a day counting out your coins, you would know what you might be able to throw away, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not all gold. I mean, it's some copper, some silver, some gold. So you can probably lose 100 pounds of copper pieces, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'd
just
say that.
dump my hands in, start grabbing copper and silver, and just start throwing it in the water.
Get
Why
out of
So
here.
you're literally gonna throw it into the lake.
No,
I'm
just
yelling at him at this time. You wouldn't let me dig a little hole and us bury it, but you'll throw it for all to
Haven't you heard of a wishing ocean? Hello. Come
Wolf,
on.
throw it on the shore.
Okay. Among the skeletons, their payment for their 200 years of
Yeah.
curse.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're able to lose 100 pounds of copper, and that keeps it buoyant and afloat. And this is by midday. About midday, through all this arguing and debating and thinking and counting and weighing and trying, and then you finally say, okay, let's throw out some copper. You're on the boat, and he's paddling off. It's a beautiful day. It took you probably 5 or 6 hours to find this island in the middle of the night. He's able to get you home in about the same time.
Yeah.
Again, you pass many fishermen along the way. He yells and tells them of your grand luck, and then he yells to a couple of them that we have saved Unpilton, and he yells, and there's some kind of creature here we've never seen. You know, he's happy. He's very happy.
Yeah.
He's dancing around. He tries to tell everybody about your fortune. You know, yelling all over the lake. You come in the afternoon about 12. About 3 in the afternoon. And the orc, of course, everybody's coming down to the shore. As he's yelling as you arrive on the shore. The orc stands up by the tavern and watches as the town folks that are available come out to see you and greet you. He watches from up top as you're supposed to deliver the sword to her, and he will take you to them.
Yeah, I'll walk off.
This is a two-handed sword, by the way, Dale.
Yeah.
You're having to wield it with 2 hands. Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody comes down. Unlongus, who's kind of the town mayor and the owner of the tavern, as you present this. Tell me, I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to?
I'm walking straight up to her.
I don't want to let them know how much we have, coin-wise, but I want to make sure we.
Are you still wearing the crown? And
Yeah, he's no shame.
He's still wearing the.
Yeah, no shame.
they are.
He's already made his claim on the island too.
I like puff out my chest, and I'm just like, you know, get the
Rub your belly.
crown and the scepter, and I'm just like.
Many of the other fishermen followed you in as he was yelling and so they're abandoning their fishing. They're all literally by 3:30. You're surrounded by celebrating villagers as they grab your hands and they pat you on the back. And many of them are eyeballing these sacks of coins. So tell me, how much do you want to keep hidden from them?
I just want to give them what they need and leave the rest.
And we'll give some to Una Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to leave
I want to
300 gold, 300 worth of gold.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Split
so
halfway, 150 for us, and 150 with the dwarf. It don't matter though, but you know.
So there's 1,000 silver. That would be 100 gold pieces, correct?
Yep.
So you're going to give them all that. And then copper, 200 copper left. That's 20 gold pieces. That's 120. You owe them another 180 gold. You're keeping the crown, the scepter, and the gold necklace, right?
Mm-hmm. I have all that on. And
right, you're wearing all that.
Yeah.
So you need to give them 180 of your remaining gold to get them to 300. Okay, and that leaves... Okay, what is that? 3. So you guys have 320 gold pieces left to split among yourselves.
Hey, that's about the worth of the crown, the scepter, and the necklace.
Yeah.
Hey, it is. Is it not, dwarf? And I walk over there.
I just turn to him and I say, "Yeah, but the king taxes the people, so."
Dwarf, if you want to try to appraise the value of the crown, the scepter, and the necklace, you certainly can try.
Yeah, I mean, I would have a rough guess at what material that would cost or go for, right?
Right. All told, between the crown, the scepter, and the necklace, they'd be giving up. So if you guys divide this 320 equally, that's 100 and 7 each.
Yeah.
107 gold each, right? You can assess, dwarf, the value of this crown, scepter, and necklace are another 500 gold in value.
Jeez.
Okay, so I say, you know, at least give me 10 gold for my trouble.
We'll give you 20.
Greedy little bastard.
We'll give you 20, but you're at our beck and call.
Hey, leaving be.
20 gold, and I'm at your beck and call, and you buy me a beer in the tavern.
Nice. Okay, so Dell and Donnie have 100 gold pieces. You have 20 gold pieces, sir. Plus this crown, scepter, and necklace. The sword, of course, is still in your possession right now, Wolf. The orc is waiting for you to present it to him. And you've given the rest. So you had 4,500 coins in that haul. That's why it was so heavy. Okay. You gave 2,000 copper and 1,000 silver to them, plus some of your gold. So they are going to be not only able to pay off, but you are heroes in the town of Umpilton. You have rescued the town from who knows what horror that might have awaited it without being able to pay its taxes.
And as I walk away from the mall, I'm going to say, "Tell the tales of King Creed." And then I walk, and I want to start walking towards the Wellington's place.
Right, the blessed dwarf is full of himself. I say I'm passing the sword to the maiden orc. And I say,
yes,
but without him, we wouldn't have had a raft to come back.
That is true.
He swung his axe.
Just don't tell him because he's already got a big enough ego.
To the benefit of all, and lady, I hope the sword does you well, and I pass it on to her.
She looks and says, "I cannot believe you did it. I cannot believe it." And she bows, and then she turns and hands the sword to one of her soldiers, and he wraps it in a blanket, ties it off, swings it over his back. They mount up, and she rears her horse around and again nods and says, If ever you need un masa, oak no lo masa, please come to me." And she kicks her horse, and they ride off. Her and her 6 men headed east.
I turn on my heel and say, "Saltine, to the room. We need to talk."
I just roll my eyes and go, "Let's go."
Some kind of a thief you are.
Talk.
Yeah.
You head over to Wellin, right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Wellington. Wellin, I think. It doesn't matter, Wellington.
Yeah,
you can call him whatever you want. You're the king.
It's good to be the king. Yeah.
Now you're starting to get it.
Yeah.
It's good to be
So
the king.
as you walk in, he is covered in soot. He's filthy and sweaty. He looks up and says, "Ah!" He puts his stuff away and he comes around. Show me, Azurite. What do you have? Azurite, right?
No, I just take off the crown, take off the necklace, take the scepter, lay it all in front of him.
But I can't craft magic with this.
And I go, "It's not for you to craft, boy. It's for me to craft. Step aside."
He stands aside and furrows. Did you not go to the cavern for the Azurite?
In due time. I got drunk, Wellington.
He's
It's
talking
fine.
to you while you do what you do. What are you going to do with this gold?
I'm gonna make a gold daisy. I'm gonna make a gold battle axe with it.
Nice.
Mhm.
That'll just take time, right?
Yeah.
You'll have to. You're going to probably want to smelt that in with a harder metal, of course, right? It takes time. He stands back and watches. This takes hours while you guys are back at the inn having a very intellectual conversation.
Yeah.
These
It takes hours.
you craft this thing, and the elf looks after hours of watching you. There are moments where you look up proud and show what you're doing, and then you work some more, and he pours some water for you. He pumps and keeps it hot for you. You work as a team. But when all's said and done and you present this to him, he says, "But I could have done better."
I laugh and I say, "I never was a very good king," and I slap him across the face and I walk out of his place.
"No, you dwarves." And he spits. All right, so you have all earned 2540 XP. We got to divide it by 3, though. I think. Wait, am I dividing this by 3? I think. Yeah, we do. Don't we? In White Box. Yeah.
Yes.
So 2540 divided by 3. If anybody's got a calculator, or if you can do it in your head like a math genius that you are.
I think we should only get XP if we spend gold. No, I'm joking.
You did. You gave it all to the. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm awarding. I award XP. I don't actually award XP for gold. I'm awarding XP for.
No, I was just saying that to Drew.
2540?
Yeah. You are getting XP for gold, but it is as only in the sense of as helping the town of Umpilton, right?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So you said 2540?
Yeah.
Divided by 3. Yep.
All right, so it's 846 point a bunch of zeros in the soup.
We'll make it 850. 850
There you
XP
go.
for everybody.
Woohoo!
Nice. I don't know if that levels you up, but
No,
Probably
never.
not.
Not even close.
probably
Not
not.
even close.
We gotta get 1500 or something.
Not bad. The Spectre was 1100 XP alone.
Nice.
Nice.
Jeez. So
Yeah.
I mean I get that, don't I? And then no, I'm joking.
Got to split
He
it.
gets the crowd. Yeah, it's better had a splitting headache.
Good game,
you
Jason.
Are, what's that? Yes, sir.
Good game.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
That was good, man.
Yes, thanks
That
for
was
running
good.
it.
Enjoy
I
it.
had three. Well, I had more options because again, I've got a whole book of stuff.
Yeah.
But tonight I had three kind of teasers, and this was one of them. You guys went for it. And the
Nice.
other one's the Azurite teaser,
Mhm.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
going there next, alone or with someone, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
So that was. It's funny because Jody wrote me privately the other day, and he said, "Are you guys doing a dungeon crawl?" And I said, "Well, there's a couple potential dungeon crawls
Yeah,
that
in
could
the
come
area.
up if they
Yeah.
choose to do something like that."
Yeah.
And sure enough, we kind of did. Kind of did a dungeon
Yeah.
crawl, right? So, well, that was fun for me. I love it. I love old
Yeah, it
school,
was awesome.
man. Dungeon
Yeah, it was
crawl
good.
was awesome. So,
Yeah.
I wrote this one. The other two I had queued up, I had purchased. I was going to
Nice.
run. I was
Nice.
going to actually run purchased dungeon crawls for the first time in years and years. So I actually have a couple I bought would have been fun to throw at you. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
But this one was one I prepared 2 days ago.
Yeah, that was
It was
good.
fun. It
That was
was
good.
fun.
I thought
Very
she was gonna throw that torch.
And you know what?
Right now.
After like 5 minutes ago, I thought I never lit it the fire because I was trying to prevent the rats from coming following us.
Right.
So I forgot to light the damn fire.
So you rolled, Donnie, to start that session on my random encounter chart.
Yeah.
Unmasa calls in her favor. That was number 6.
Nice.
Oh,
So that when she showed up at the tavern, that was the tat. You know, she went ahead and tattooed you, and she called in her
Yeah.
favor,
yeah.
which was
Cool.
go get this sword, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and then I had. Well, I won't share the others because when we play again, any
Yeah.
of these other ones could come up, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. I had a great time. That was fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
awesome.
Drew, fantastic, man. I hadn't had a chance to play with you since Blood and Bone, brother.
Yeah, man. That was good.
It was fun.
Yeah,
Very
it's fun.
good.
Always.
Very good. Well, Donnie's got to go to bed, right? I mean, you've been up since 3.
I actually had to spend time with my wife. I
Oh.
owe her a movie night. Yeah, so it's going to be a long night.
That's awesome.
Oh, Jason, we got to get you in on a Call of Cthulhu game, man.
Yeah, brother. Absolutely.
I think you would really enjoy that.
Yeah, you've got to just make me a
'Cause
character
you-
because I don't know the rules or anything. You
Yeah,
just
that's
make me a
fine.
character.
But you have like the good monologue for that type of game.
I would
Like
love
it's
it.
very like psychological, and like
Yeah.
you kind of have to like talk and converse and like
As
try
long
to,
as
like,
I don't have to buy the
analyze
book.
characters.
And you can facilitate the rules. Just
We can
slide
do
a
it like
character.
this, but just use the characters.
Yeah, I
from
love
there.
it. I love
You know
it.
what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah, I
that.
love it, man. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. I've wanted to play Call of Cthulhu for years. A couple of weeks ago, Dell mentioned we could do something, and I just didn't have it in me at the time. I was thinking,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not in the mood, but I definitely am in the mood. So now, but I wasn't like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm not. I ain't got Call of Cthulhu in me right now. But
We had a
Yeah.
lot.
I'm ready,
A lot on the
yeah.
burner, man.
Yeah.
A lot on the burner.
yeah,
It is. It's an investigator, like
Yeah.
detective. It's good, man. It's good. You'll
Yeah.
like it. It's
I
cool.
love it. Yeah. Well, H.P. Lovecraft, man.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was doing right before the game. Me and Jory played through the Arkham Horror card game.
Oh
And
yeah.
actually beat the first thing for the first time.
Yeah.
It'll
I've never
kill
played
you.
a game of Cthulhu where I survived, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
this
really
surprised
think
me.
you're
Right.
supposed to.
yeah.
You guys, though, I'm telling you, this Spectre.
I was
Now, this is
so
my
worried.
Spectre. This is not the Spectre from the book. If he hit, he drains Constitution. 1d6 of your Constitution.
Oh, I knew.
Wow.
It was
So
dangerous.
he missed you, but your hit points would have only come down if you took off a hit die, right? You would have lost hit points.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dangerous
So he couldn't-
crowd.
Wow.
But he literally would have soaked Constitution score from you.
That's why I didn't want to get close to him. I knew there was something about that. I was
Exactly.
throwing at him.
The Spectre in the book, they soak levels, 2 levels per
Wow.
hit. So he's far worse in the book. It's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
too much. That's too much for these guys.
Gee
Yeah.
whiz, man.
Two
I know I was
levels
getting
per
chopped
hit.
down on HP though, pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
And the rat swarm, I designed everything for this. The Spectre and the rat swarm. The rat swarm, you could not miss. You could automatically hit it and just do damage. There was 35 hit points worth of damage is all you needed to do to end the rat swarm. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So they had to hit you unless you were frozen in fear, and all three of you failed your fear checks. So and on my pre-roll chart, the 3 was 3 rounds. So for 3 rounds, you had to take damage from these things without them
I
hitting
took 7
Holy
damage.
cow.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's all I used today on my pre-roll charts for my die 20s
Nice.
and my die. So tonight, all of that I only rolled the die 6. What 6 times?
That's funny. When I played with Drew before in his campaign, that's what we was doing, was pre-rolling.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yeah, because I don't have to worry about picking up dice and rolling them.
Yeah, I just glanced down and check it off.
Yeah.
Well, mine was very like you had to be in the moment. It was like character development type deal, and like if I was to do the whole, I gotta roll. It
sucks.
Yeah.
When I GM, I really don't want to leave this space. I want to be here as much as possible. So I don't like putting in the books. Yep.
Yeah, like Del, when you guys went back into the tavern and that guy hung himself, that was a random die roll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have talked to you if it went differently, or he would have like reacted differently.
Y'all had to wait while I took him down and buried him because it was a cleric.
Yeah.
Hurry up. Let me say some words.
It's awesome. Anyways, great game, Jason. Thanks, man.
Thank you, my friend. It was wonderful to talk to you and play with you again, man. We'll do this again. I'm going to try to do this once a month. I just don't know what day and time until it opens up. So.
Sounds good.
And then I'll lay it out.
Weekend.
Yep. I'm going to try to do Saturdays. Either in evenings or afternoons. It'll just depend, but it'll usually be a Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
To try to keep it open for you and Sam. Sam was hoping to play, but I think he needs to go later, like 9, because he's got kids or something. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, I haven't played with
Thank
him
you.
in a
Let me stop this recording real quick. I just realized I'm still recording.
Sounds good. I'll stop mine too.
And
Thanks
then
for watching, all.
Yep.